If a defendant asserts an entrapment defense, a court may apply a subjective test, which focuses on the defendant's criminal predisposition, or an objective test, which focuses on the conduct used by the police to induce the defendant. In People v. Barraza, the court considered which test applies in California. The state of California charged Julian Barraza with selling heroin to an undercover police officer. At trial, Barraza and the officer offered conflicting versions of the events. The officer testified that she called Barraza at the drug detoxification center where he worked and asked him whether he had anything. Barraza told her to come to the center. After speaking briefly at the center, the officer convinced Barraza that she wasn't a cop, and he gave her a coded note. The officer took the note to Barraza's wife, who in turn sold heroin to the officer. Barraza, on the other hand, testified that the officer had been calling him constantly and that he agreed to meet with her only so she would stop bothering him. When they met, Barraza kept insisting that he didn't have drugs and wasn't dealing drugs because he didn't want to lose his job or go back to jail. However, the officer continued asking for drugs, and Barraza finally gave her a note so she'd stop pestering him. A jury ultimately convicted Barraza. Barraza appealed, arguing that the trial court erred by failing to instruct the jury on the defense of entrapment and by giving the jury a so-called Minnie Allen instruction by which the court urged the jury to reach a verdict despite being seemingly deadlocked.